We were talking about the WNBA to start the show. We've been talking about it a lot recently. The Caitlyn Clark phenomenon. She rolled through LA, I guess a week ago. You guys won that game. You went off yourself. You had a great night. Caitlyn put up big numbers. Can you speak, as a member of the WNBA, and you've been a member for quite some time, because everyone's discussing this. Like, what's up with the players? How do they feel about her? What do we make of this phenomenon? You're the perfect one to ask because you're living it. Like, what do you make of the debut of Caitlyn Clark, the buzz that's come with it, and how you as a fellow competitor, feel about her arrival in the WNBA?
Yeah, I mean, I think the buzz of her coming into the league and this new rookie class that's come into the league especially has been really great. Obviously, the excitement around women's basketball, being able to play with all these sellout crowds and being able to bring this new fan. There's a lot of new fans of the WNBA into our league to kind of see what it's all about. And also there's like new media that's covering the WNBA too, right? There's all these conversations and narratives floating around. And for me, obviously, it's been great to see Caitlyn kind of step into our league, and she's definitely put up some numbers. She's had a couple of growing pains here and there too, but all of us went through that as a rookie. But you know what? It's interesting because we're in this like really new phase where there's people that are creating all these narratives and this rhetoric around us as players. And at the end of the day, like, we are extremely competitive people. And I think people forget that this isn't college anymore. This is our livelihood. And for a lot of people in our league, this is how they keep, their families afloat. This is how they pay their bills. And, I think it's really important to remember that there's just complete competitive energy. Like, the same physicality that I'm using against Indiana is the same physicality I'm using against Minnesota tomorrow in our game. Like, it just is what it is. And I know that there's been some non-basketball plays out there. Those aren't acceptable, but within the flow of the game and the physicality of the game, it's, it is what it is. We're out here competing and trying to make a living. I don't know what people want us to do. It's interesting because people are now trying to tell us how to act in a space we've been in for like ever.
Well, Kia, the only difference is the only difference is with this girl, it seems like everyone wants to kick her ass. Like, is there just something about her, or like, is she like a pain behind the scenes? Like, why does it look like everyone wants to kick her ass out there?
You know what? I have had no interactions with her other than guarding her. So I couldn't tell you about any of that. But in all honesty, I think if you would have asked Brianna Stewart when she came into the league, or Asia Wilson when she came into the league, Sabrina Ionescu most recently coming into the league, when you come into the league and there's a lot of hype and, obviously you've had incredible college careers, it's wanting to know how you're going to fare in that next round and how you're going to fare with these best players in the world, night in and night out. And the biggest thing that I've always told people when we kind of jump over into the professional league is it's a faster game. The athletes themselves, they have a huge level of basketball IQ, so that's kind of a big piece of it. And that's the physicality. And it does the same thing when you go to the Olympics and you play in those FIBA games. It's like the more international the game gets, the more physical it gets. And so I think that's just the level of it. And I don't think anybody's typically targeting her. I just think it's one of the harder parts about coming into our league with, being surrounded by a ton of hype. And she's done a great job, obviously, with what she has and the team she has around her, of still being able to put up some good numbers.
So, Kia, that's what we were talking about. And we had a pretty good debate about it in the 4 o'clock hour, just, Caitlyn Clark coming in. You mentioned everybody's ultra competitive. You guys now play for keeps. You're getting paid money. Overall, is she good for the WNBA as far as, bringing in casual fans now, a lot of eyes on, a lot of media attention?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. If you think about, all these other leagues that have thrived and been around, I know a lot of times, obviously, it's easy to make the comparison between the WNBA and the NBA. I mean, the NBA has been around for more than 75 years. WNBA has only been around for about 25, some odd, a little bit over 25 years. And so you need those household names. You need those stars. You need those people that when, young families sitting at the table and they're eating dinner, maybe they're having a conversation about a Caitlyn Clark or an Asia Wilson or a Brianna Stewart, or all these incredible WNBA players that should be household names. And you need that because then people are obviously going to turn on the TV to watch. I know we're negotiating a media rights deal in our league coming up soon. You want to have the opportunity to get onto these charter flights and be able to pay for them and have a thriving league, not only for the people that are in it now, but for those who are going to come after us in the next generation. So, Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink on our team, Rakia Jackson on our team, just watching this rookie class come in and seeing the following that they have, obviously a big piece of that social media as well. It's great for the league to be able to have all these eyes. It's just now navigating all of this newness and all of these new narratives for some of these players who have been in here for a long time.
With Kia Nurse, and you mentioned that these narratives that have been applied to veteran players, is Is that because I've read it, like, this idea that people hate, players hate Caitlyn Clark, and you just said it. You're like, I don't even know Caitlyn Clark. I played her and I competed against her. Like, is that? Can you expand on that? Like, what might be not bothering you, but what you're picking up on in terms of those narratives that are being driven home that you and other veteran players of the WNBA have not created on your own. It's coming from the outside, and in a lot of cases, like you mentioned, certain media circles that were not around in the past and have just shown up over the last few weeks.
Yeah, in all honesty, sometimes I've honestly tried to stay away from a ton of the social media stuff around our league. Obviously, my algorithm I follow all my basketball teammates, so I get a lot of it coming at me. But I think some of it is just honestly things that people think that, we hate people or like we're jealous of people. And I don't necessarily think that's the truth. Like I said, I don't know a lot of these younger players in our league. I obviously know the ones that I play with. And you get to know people as you kind of travel around to different teams in the league and go to different events within the WNBA. But at the end of the day, I'm here because this is my job, and I love this job more than anything in the world. But it's also business. And I understand that if I don't perform, then my employers, my organization, my team has the right to fire me. And so I'm not really worried about what other people are doing in this league. It's what can I do to help my team be successful and help myself be better than I was last year. And so I think some of the narratives around us being worried about other people in the league in terms of veterans, when I say us, I don't think a lot of us are worried about anybody but our team and how we keep ourselves a job. Because at the end of the day, the WNBA right now, still 12 teams, 12 spots. Unless you have a salary issue, then it's 11 spots. It's 144 spots. And to stay in the WNBA for an extended amount of time means that you have to be doing something right. You have to have a role that you play well, or you have to be a superstar. And that, at the end of the day, is the hardest league to stay in the world. Why would I be worried about other people when I'm trying to keep my job?